Simple interest rate, simple. Compound interest rate, future value, present value, but only one type. I and JT, equivalent I to effective F, are clear. So we know how to calculate principal, present value, and even maturity value, future value, only one type. Mortgage, car loan, car lease, number of periodic payment, pension, number of receiving. So we call annuity. The difference, right? Can you see the difference? Difference between one time and number of series of payment, series of installment receiving. Start with this one. Car. Do you have a car? Did you purchase financing? Or you have cash pay? I didn't have that much cash, so finance or lease. I do not like lease contract. I prefer finance to own my car. But if you have experience, it's very clear. If it's finance, you buy a car, you don't need to pay anything when you purchase a car with a finance contract. You're going to pay end of the month. End of the month, end of the month, you started to pay. If it's a lease, once you sign on the contract, you're going to pay first payment today. That's different. So, if we make payment end of period, that means after 1 month interest, we need to separate from when we make a payment as a beginning of period. Biggest difference. Then, second part we need to consider, it's about compound, right? One time compound monthly. Good. Interest calculation monthly. But at the same time, payment monthly. Simple, right? So when we make a payment, it's clear cut. Because compound period, interest payment period, same thing. But interest, the car finance that I borrow the money, based on compound semi-annually or compound annually interest rate I need to pay, they are going to charge. But how often I make a payment? Monthly payment. So the interest rate of my monthly payment is not like a compound interest, right? Oh, confused. That's the start of annuity. So if payment period and compound period they are the same, then one type. If we have different compound interest period and payment period, that's a second type. So technically we have 4 different type of annuity. Payment end, payment beginning, and same period between interest and payment, different period between interest and payment. Good? This one. End of the month we call ordinary. If we start to pay beginning of the period, we call annuity due. New term. Unfortunately, this is new language, new term, you need to memorize. Start to make a payment end of the term, ordinary. Beginning of the term, annuity due. From, it sounds like which one is more common? Huh? Ordinary is more common. Huh? Usually make payment end of the period, after month, right? Then, between interest compound period and payment period, they are the same, then we call simple. but interest quarterly, payment monthly different. Then we call general. Why we need to separate this one? Because think about the calculation. See, if we make one-time deposit and rate, we just need to calculate this one once, even though based on timeline, right? How many times? So I, total N, that's one line. But we make this one based on compound interest rate. Then, what about next month? We make another payment, calculate the following. We have all calculation. Then, total of this amount is how much you need to pay, how much you receive. Am I right? So not just one line, timeline we need everything. This one. So if you start from this one, definitely different from this one. Am I right? If you apply interest within this period, but payment, this period, but payment separated, also different. So we need to determine what type of annuity first, then find out formula which is related, then calculate annuity. So classification of annuity, that's the first challenge. Start with what? Start when we determine what type of annuity, start with what? Timeline.